So obviously we've been talking a lot about cases recently on this channel, and it's for good reason. Cases and their prices have been going absolutely insane. I mean, this is a Prisma 2 case right here, and just in the past month, it's up 36%. Cases have been an amazing investment so far in 2025, but today we have some new news to talk about that is specifically regarding cases and how it could change the future of cases and really change everything for cases and the CS2 investing market, because cases are such a big part of this thing, and it even has the potential to maybe drop case prices as well, which depending on who you ask could be a good or bad thing. So really massive news to talk about today. We're going to get into that in just a second, but I first want to mention my cash trading business. If you guys are looking to sell any of your CS2 items, turn them into cold hard cash, crypto, or any other payment method, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. We buy pretty much anything and everything for the right price, but obviously we like to get those bigger deals done. So if you have gloves, knives, expensive skins, maybe you want to sell a whole inventory, maybe you want to sell some bulk cases, whatever, I would love to help you get a deal done, help you get cashed out safely, effectively, and efficiently. And of course, by selling to me, you're helping support me, my channel, and my content and everything we do here. So that would be awesome as well. I would appreciate that a ton. With that being said, let's get right into today's news, where we have this tweet from Mitao. I don't know exactly how to pronounce this guy's name, but he's a big person in CS scene. He's always tweeting out like, I don't know, just news, lots of cool stuff. He says, Buff supports the case sale again. Now, this was something I was not expecting, something I was not ready for at all, and obviously this is massive news. Again, if you do not know, Buff163 is the biggest CS2 marketplace in the world. The volumes, the inventories, the amounts of money, the amounts of trades, everything going on Buff163 is impossible to even overstate or comprehend or anything. I was on Buff163 last year or the year before, whenever before it got removed. Currently, no one outside of China can access Buff163. But before, when foreigners and people from the West could still access Buff163, I was on there and I was doing a lot of buying, selling, trading. It was a big part of my cash trading business. You could sell anything on Buff163, like super illiquid items, stuff that might take weeks or months or a year or whatever to sell on like CS Float or even sometimes Steam and stuff like that. There was always a market for it on Buff163. Just super illiquid stuff could all of a sudden become liquid because the amounts of money and the amounts of people on Buff163. It was really insane, and it's something that I have desperately, and a ton of people in the trading community have been missing a ton. But Buff163 also in the past year or so removed cases from their platform. You could not sell cases, anything that could be opened up. You could not sell on Buff163 anymore. That meant cases, that meant capsules, that meant like souvenir packages, all that stuff. And obviously people speculated, this was related to like loot boxes and gambling and stuff like that, and trying to get that all off the platform. So now to see Buff returning cases and openable things to their site was really crazy and unexpected. So we do have the Buff recovery weapon case and souvenir bag deal FAQ. From now on, Buff will gradually resume the sale and purchase of weapon boxes and souvenir bags. The following points should be noted. Buff purchased weapon boxes, unboxing jewelry cannot be sold on Buff shelves. Now that is very interesting, weird, crazy. I don't really know what to make of that. For example, if you purchase a Nightmare weapon box on the Buff and get a butterfly knife gamma doppler from the Nightmare weapon box, the butterfly knife will be restricted for sale on Buff. So if you buy a case from Buff, whatever you open from that case can't be sold on Buff. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. That's really weird. I don't know how they're going to keep track of that or enforce that, but whatever. You still have other websites you can sell it on too, so that doesn't really matter. The system will conduct testing and auditing when you place relevant accessories on the shelves, which may cause a certain delay in placing normal accessories on the shelves. The system inspection audit mechanism is still being optimized, and the instability of the Steam interface may cause the unopened jewelry to be unable to go on the shelf. Obviously, this sounds like weird English, I'm sure, because it's just like translated, or like somebody who doesn't speak native English. If your current account does not plan to sell related unboxing accessories such as gloves, daggers, guns, etc. on Buff, you can buy weapon boxes with confidence. So this is insane. And right off the bat, this is something I've been trying to think of and trying to make sense of for myself. And what somebody actually asked me on Discord today was, what is this going to do for case prices? Does this mean cases are going to go up or down? And honestly, I still don't really know. And I think there's a very strong case to be made for it going either way. What I do know is this greatly increases liquidity in the market. So I wanted to go on Google and try and figure out, what the heck does this mean? And I said, does more liquidity make prices go up or down? And here's what the AI kind of overview from Google has to say. And they say, generally more liquidity tends to lead to more stable and potentially higher prices because it it allows assets to be bought and sold quickly and efficiently without significant price fluctuations. In a highly liquid market, there are many buyers and sellers, making it easier to find a counterpart to trade. This ease of trading can lead to more stable prices, as large orders are less likely to cause significant price swings. And then in low liquidity, even small trades can cause significant price fluctuations because there are not enough buyers or sellers to absorb the trade. This can make it difficult to find a buyer or seller, and the price may need to change significantly to attract interest. So again, that doesn't really say too much either. And it also kind of leads us to the point that liquidity doesn't necessarily make prices go up or down. So again, this means more people are going to have access to both buying and selling cases. So there's going to be some incentive. If you were looking to buy cases in huge amounts very easily, very, quickly, Buff 163 is one of the best ways to do that. So if you've been looking to buy, hey, now you have a new opportunity to buy. But again, if you are also looking to sell to a whole new market, maybe that's going to push prices down. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't think it'll have too much effect on prices, especially in the short term, because cases are already insanely liquid items. The price discovery on cases is already, should be most of the way there. Something like patches, when those got added to CS Float within the past year, patch prices actually went down a little bit. Now, patch prices went down for more reasons than just getting added to CS Float, but a ton of patch liquidity came in when patches were actually able to be sold on Float, and that made the prices go down a little bit because I think patches were very, very niche. The demand for patches wasn't really high. The supply on patches isn't really high. So it was having that issue where, a couple trades or, whatever was making the prices go all crazy. But then we found out that, hey, the real value of patches is probably a little bit lower than where it was before after that happened on CS Float. But for something like cases, which are already bought and sold in, the thousands, the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands all over the place on Steam, on all these sites. Like right now on CS Flow, it is insanely easy to buy and sell hundreds, thousands of cases. This is not like patches at all. Cases are already one of the most popular traded and transacted items on so many different places. I don't really think this should be too massive of a deal. Now, again, this is a really, really good thing. This does mean people are going to be able to buy, sell cases more. People are going to be able to get hundreds of thousands of them more. Maybe that's going to lead to more people opening cases. Maybe it's going to lead to more people buying cases and throwing them in storage units and getting them out of the active market. I don't know. But will cases explode in price or crash in price necessarily just because Buff has cases again? I don't think so. This does actually impact some people in the West as well, because this should also mean that cases are going to be coming to Buff Market as well. Obviously, we can't get access to Buff 163, but we can still buy, sell, trade cases and things like that now in Buff Market, which I think is, better than nothing. But I did want to go, obviously I still have my Buff 163 account, so I did want to actually go on Buff 163 and check out cases and what's going on with them. And what's crazy is that the prices are so low. The prices look so good. And again, because of this, it could actually cause prices to drop a little bit, because you're able to get cases for such a good price on Buff 163. Buff 163 has historically had the best prices, the lowest prices, the place where you can just get a bunch of stuff quick, cheap, and easy. And now with cases back, you can see here, a recoil case is 22 cents on Buff 163. And if we go to a recoil case on something like CS Float, again, 28 cents. That is a very, very, very significant difference. Now, it is much harder to get stuff like Buff Balance, and when you go to sell Buff Balance, stuff like that, you're going to be eating fees. So the real cost of real value is going to be more than 22 cents, but not 28 cents. It's still cheaper to get it from Buff 163 overall at the end of the day. We can also take a look at, like the Snakebite case, 27 cents. When we look at Snakebite case on CS Float, 32 cents, so a 5-cent difference there. So prices are significantly lower on Buff 163, so that could lead obviously to people buying on Buff 163 and then selling on other sites, which could bring case prices down a little bit. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm not even going to say that's a bad thing, because hey, somebody like me who's looking to buy cases and I want to invest and own as many cases as I can, case prices coming down a little bit, that would be great for me. Yeah, in the short term, my on-paper gains are being hurt, or my overall account value is going down or whatever, but I'm in the accumulation phase. I'm still in the buying phase of getting all these cases and everything. So if there is some event that gets people to bring case prices down, that is awesome and amazing news for me. Now, I think the more interesting thing with all of this is people saying, hey, well, two things. One, this is finally some good news for cases, because so many people have been worried about, restrictions and regulations and laws coming in about, cases and gambling and all that stuff. But hey, Buff removed cases, and that scared some people. That was like, hey, you see, cases can get taken away, cases can be regulated, cases can have laws put in place, and maybe the Chinese government's going to be coming after cases, blah, blah, blah. Well, now, finally, we're getting some good news for cases. They're actually being re-added to the site, which should hopefully give people more confidence in cases, sustainability and viability in the long term, and take away an overall risk factor from cases, which I think is great. But then also, since, two of the main things being taken away from Buff in the past couple of years was foreigners, Westerners being allowed access to the site, and cases. Cases are coming back, so now people are starting to have that speculation of, hey, when are foreigners and Westerners going to be allowed back on Buff 163? And if that does happen, could that create another renaissance and another boom in the CS markets that takes us to even greater, newer heights, which I think is definitely possible. Again, I would love that access to Buff 163. I can't wait, and if that does happen, I'm going to be very, very excited. But until then, I'll definitely take this very, very exciting case news, and I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts and opinions on this whole thing are. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.